I'm here today to install a drop-down flap in this media unit that's been built by Ryan. Ryan's our go-to electrician and he's also a very multi-skilled chap, and he's currently acting as cameraman today. So I'm offering it up. I've cut it pretty much to the measured size, knowing that I would then want to take off a little bit of the gap. So I can shift it roughly to fit, and then I'm just estimating some marks which I'm going to take off with the planer. So I can see there's a slight incline to that gap, so I want to take a little bit off at the bottom but less at the top. Now I talk a lot about this planer. It's the Festool EHL65. I'm not sure if I've caught me using it on camera much. It's strange because it's a Festool tool that I've seen very little publicity about. You hear a lot about the rail saws and that sort of thing, and I thought this looked like a good tool and I wasn't disappointed when I got it. Highly recommend it if you're doing fitted work. It's got very precise fine adjustment, so that's up here. You can go down to 1/10 of a millimetre in your adjustment. So that's, if you're familiar with planers, you'll know that's just moving that base plate up and down. The other distinctive thing about it is it has a spiral cutting blade, which gives you a much cleaner shear cut. It's self-locating, so you just drop it in, tighten it up, and it's precise, and it's actually lower noise because of the shearing action. So I'm going to be working to my marks here, and I know I need to take 2 or 3 mil off that, so I can pretty much just go straight in. Like that. Yes, that's taken that off pretty parallel. That'll probably need a final touch up. So you can see this one better. When you're doing a slightly tapered cut, you want to take some off and then sort of keep going back until you're getting a flat surface that's removed more at the bigger end. So I've got it to fit, and I've packed it up so that the rear is roughly parallel with that front lip there. I was thinking then of packing it up further, but I remembered I can adjust these hinges. So these have black plastic covers that come off, and then there's some adjustment. So this adjustment screw, when you undo it, would allow the panel to move closer and further away from the frame. These 2 adjustment screws will allow the panel to move up. So you see I've got a bit of movement there. That means that the panel can come up, so it's going to sit with more of a gap at the bottom, which is then going to stop it hitting that ridge along there. So I'm going to just loosen all those off now and then retighten them. I'm just using a posi one to fit into them. It'd probably be recommended to be done with a hands driver, but I couldn't find one, so this will do the job. So once they're all loosened off, that'll shift. The stay will have enough play in it that it will allow that. Then these can be retightened and I can check the fit. So the panel's trimmed and the assembly's been fitted, just secured with some screws down and some at the side to stop it twisting forward. I've put some packers in there. Not too concerned about the internal appearance, as long as it fits well on the outside, and it'll all get painted up then. I have decided to ditch these Sugatsune touch latches. It's an interesting mechanical mechanism. You can see that grabs that little sort of ball-ended thing, which has a little bit of float in its holder, but it's just not been working well with the 2 of them. So obviously that was fitted down there. I've already taken it off. Yeah, the 2 of them just didn't seem to want to work together. And I'm now having a bit of trouble getting them off because they've got these tiny little Phillips 1 heads. screws, which already I'd had to take in and out to adjust, and they've rounded off. But I'll get them off by some means, but I've decided that I'm going to just go with the old tried and tested Blum tip-on mechanism. So you've got a holder like this that will go up there. I'll give myself a block to fit that to. Into the holder goes the tip-on piston, and that engages when you push it, and as long as you've got about a 2mm clearance to push it in, it will pop back out. And it's magnetic in the in position, but it's not magnetic as it comes out, so it lets go of the plate, which will be fitted here, which will hold it on. So I'll fit that in the middle and that should all work fine. So I've fitted the holder and the piston like that. I've put the self-adhesive metal plate on there. If you've used these, you'll notice that's a bigger plate than usual. It's some that I had on special order for curved doors, because the way curved doors close with a sort of glancing action against the piston needed a bigger plate. Just figured I'd use it because it gives you more gluing surface. It's more likely to stay on. So simple way of fitting it, just put it on the piston already, push against it. The glue will push onto the panel. That's on the panel. Let's push it down a bit more. And that's obviously going to need a little bit of tweaking. I think the issue here is the piston, which is adjustable. Just turn it anti-clockwise, it will be a bit further out. So I think it wasn't engaging. That should ensure it engages now. Yeah, there we go, it's working as it should. So there it is, all fitted. Works well. Maybe a little bit over the top on the soft down stage, but you kind of needed the two to balance the long flat. So they've got a bit more resistance than they need. Yeah, works perfectly well. There is adjustment built in, so it could be tweaked in. And I've said to Ryan, just a coat of Leyland acrylic primer and then the top coat, and that should all blend in just fine.